Arma.
Let's see.
Record progress.
Give
visitor spending. Tourism and travel industry here in Trumbull County represents 7,600 jobs. And the tax revenue generated by the visitor spending in total is $111 million and 54 million in state and local tax revenue and 23 million. Where are they coming from? Of course, they come from all over, but the highest percentages are coming from Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, and Toledo, and Detroit. And then what are they doing while they're here? They're looking for entertainment options. They're looking for outdoor. They're looking for cultural experiences, sports, and shopping. And we've listed some of those activities and experiences here. And I just wanted to make a note that increases in visitor spending actually means our residents spend less in tax dollars. So what it means is that $632 per household is saved if we were to pay for the exact same services if we didn't have visitor spending. So let me say that differently. If visitor spending was to go away, each household in Trumbull County would have to pay an additional $632 in taxes to keep our social services at the same level we have today. Just some examples of our marketing in 2022. We placed a full page ad in SIP magazine, which is the Ohio Wineries Association magazine. We promoted our wineries and tasting rooms there. We have actively been developing a relationship with Ohio Road Trips, which is, if not one of the top travel influencer Facebook groups in the state of Ohio. They currently have over 800,000 active users. We created some featured content. We highlighted the nature and we do blog posts. So on our website, we have listings that talk about our hotels and all of the different sites. The blog posts really bring those experiences to life. And then I wanted to show you a few videos that we had been running in two that were running in 2022 and one that's going to start running here in the next couple of weeks. So this is the first one that's running last year. Thirty-second videos, but we shot this next video last summer to promote our summer fun activities in county that we, like I said, we're going to.
Just think Beth deserves a round of applause. That's amazing. Very professional and first class. Very professional and first class. Honestly, that's.
How are? All of these assets that we have are available to them as well as anybody that is interested in them. We have conversations with any of those economic development agencies.
I know it's available, but I just want to know that they're utilizing toward.
We're working on for this year.
Okay.
It's important to us.
I know, yeah, that's why, that's why I mentioned.
All right,
Very good, but that one thing too, they had an emergency fair board meeting last night too,
yes,
and they reapproved that Hillbilly Ruckus coming back to Trumbull County. So they've got that booked for that
Oh.
week.
good.
So I'm sure you'll get a phone call today about that.
That's great,
Yeah.
because that brings in a lot of people.
was like-
We've got the, niche grass, or the Viking festival that happened.
And a QR code.
And a QR code, yes, thank you.
I just wondered, yeah, because.
Yeah.
Just came back from vacation and you see it
that.
everywhere. Yes, ma'am.
Got it. All right, thank you.
Got a question here. We got a question.
Dang it. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. So we love that kind of tuning, the wild and scenic river. We're really excited. Kind of tuning free. Our challenges. Experienced kayak. Well, if we could find a way. It's a wild river, right? Allen in and look for this. That's the access. Public events last. There's a birding. Okay, I'll look.
That's okay.
I was told I have a.
Phil Pay, go ahead. Thank you, Beth. Okay, our next workshop is going to be April 11th at 10 o'clock in this room. That's Tuesday. And that'll be to discuss the agenda or anything for the good of Trumbull County. Questions from the public. If you have any for the commissioners, it's open to the public and encouraged. We are also on Zoom and the phone lines. They can call in for those meetings. And our next regular agenda meeting is Wednesday, April 12th at 10 a.m. again in this room, and public is encouraged to attend.
Again, I want to suggest that the Board of Commissioners notice that meeting properly as a special meeting, issue the agenda, stick to the agenda, and make sure that the meeting is held in the room where it's noticed. Because to change that, you have to use journal action, and it's a different room when the room is divided. There's a sign out here that says hearing room, and it was empty during the time of the meeting. And I'm just trying to prevent the board from more liability from doing things the wrong way.
Okay, Madam Clerk, number one.
Item number 1, to dispense with reading the minutes of the regular meeting dated March 29th, 2023, and approve them as distributed and printed.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
No.
Item number 2, to approve the bills.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 3, to transfer monies.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Discussion. I wanted to point out and ask, I mentioned to the clerk, I mentioned to the president of the board, and I've been saying this since I started. Whenever we have transfers or any financial matters, they should be listed with the reason why on the agenda. This is what ours looks like, as you see, just numbers without any words. And this is what Mahoning County's looks like. And so I've been asking, and I again sent this to the clerk and said, please include the explanation. Well, so that the public can see what the reason is. And even the Board of Commissioners typically will just vote on this without even having any reason or explanation. And I request the explanation, the only commissioner that does that, and the auditor didn't provide any explanation for the transfers.
That's
As
a
you can
false
see.
statement. We had a public meeting yesterday. These questions were all answered. The auditor was in attendance. And we talked about all of the issues here. We had the sanitary engineer that explained his. We had the auditor. We had a question about the sheriff's department. We got that question answered before the meeting was over, after we requested to find that out. And if you're at the public meeting, you would have had answers to all
No.
that. We had that.
Here is what I was given, because I request to review all of the numbers before I vote on them. And there is nothing included from the auditor's office. and there's no explanation. So what I request is different than just, I actually request explanation. Now I'm going to say that the sanitary engineers department did a great job. They explained everything perfectly. That's what I've been asking for since I started. And this was something that was never done traditionally by the Board of Commissioners until I started requesting to review that. But what we should go a step further and make sure that our agenda actually shows the reason. Would the board, would the board, would the board publicly instruct our staff and our department heads and our other elected officials that when they send their agenda, their transfers and their financial matters over, that they put the explanation like other counties do?
I just want to
Has the
say one
fund
thing.
number here with it.
This
that
is
explains
what
the
other-
explanation's
No,
for.
it doesn't. It doesn't explain. The fund shows the transfer if you look it up on this sheet, but it doesn't say any reason.
You don't know what the fund is for, you can look the fund up to see what the fund number coincides with.
No, there's a coinciding explanation for transfers
Okay.
and
can I-
or for appropriation, for everything. There's a
Commissioner
reason.
Gattman.
There's
I've
nothing.
listened to all this. This is not any new money. These are interdepartmental transfers. The commissioners don't get involved in those transfers typically. I mean, we can.
That's
ask
not
and-
correct.
Can I please, typically the departments are free at will to transfer monies within their own, as long as they're not asking for new monies. That's how you run a department. That's why budgets are fluid. And as Commissioner Malloy said, there are fund numbers here. If you have a question about the fund number, you call the department head and ask, or you can call the auditor and ask. You know what the fund numbers are.
It should come over.
This is
to
not new
explain.
money. This is money that we already budgeted for these departments. They're moving money around within the department.
Okay,
It's not new
let
appropriation.
me again explain that the budget, we're in Trumbull County. I'm going to say this and I'm going to hope that somehow some people would actually realize how wrong the commissioners have been for decades. Trumbull County is the only community, and I say this again, the only community the only county in the state of Ohio that doesn't do their own budget. So, and yes, it is. You can ask the CCAO.
Can we move on,
We're the
please?
only
This
ones.
is-
And
this
what
is
I'm going to explain
turning
this
into a
again,
show.
the same way. This is what we do in Trumbull County is similar to if the legislature in Ohio didn't do their budget and the state auditor did it and told the legislature that all they could do was vote yes or no. And that's what happens. We don't even have a budget or finance manager under the commissioners. So all of this is done by the auditor's office. That's not how it should be done statutorily even.
The
we haven't-
auditor
we haven't-
statutorily prepares the budget.
That's
period.
not true.
Yes, it is.
Look up
It is
appro-
true. And you
look up
you heard that in the
appropriations.
last meeting.
That's not correct.
He prepares the budget, he or she prepares the
That's
budget.
incorrect.
We approve the budget. That's
Mauro-
how, it
Mauro,
works.
that's how it's worked since you've been here, but you've been doing it wrong.
That's how it
you
works.
can-
Ask the state auditor, please.
No, they certify the budget, but the budget is prepared. There's no oversight. That's why at the end of the year, if you listen to these meetings that they did and recorded, they acknowledge that they let the department heads go over and then they move the money around at the end of the year to eliminate any red line items. That's not budgeting. That's winging it. And that's what the county's been doing. And it's wrong.
Again,
It
needs to be improved.
again, I don't know where you learn budgeting. I honestly don't, but budgeting is a fluid process.
You don't know.
There's money moving around constantly because you can't budget for
If you-
certain line
Even-
items.
There's no planning that we've got the sheriff's
There's
department. that-
planning by
that
you. There's
spent
planning by the rest of the board and the auditor. Now, please stop.
2 million,
You're
how many,
making
how many
assumptions,
millions
and
over
it's-
budget
and it's
were
really,
we?
really dangerous to Trumbull
All
County.
right, we're gonna move forward.
No,
We have a
it's
problem with the Commissioner
dangerous to
Frenchco.
Trumbull County that you continue to do things the same old way and don't do things properly. We had another,
All
we
right,
had
Commissioner, we're
we
moving
had-
on.
we
We're
had
moving on.
another-
The chair is moving on. If you have a question with that, contact the state auditor. I'll give you his phone number if you want it. He can advise us differently in writing if there's a problem. You're not
Oh.
gonna make the rules up here and tell us.
it's
what we
not
can and
making the
can't
rules
do.
up. It's the revised code. I suggest that the
I will
board
give you
read it.
Keith Faber's phone number. You'll be able to contact him directly, and I would
Oh,
advise you
great.
would.
Item number 3, Mr. Cancel Mesa.
Yes,
No, yep, yeah. Good, sorry.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes,
Ms. Frenchco.
Because there's no explanation from the auditor for the transfer now.
Item number 4, to approve decreasing appropriations.
motion to approve.
second,
Mr. Cancel Mesa,
Yes,
Mr. Malloy,
yes,
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes,
Item number 5, to approve additional appropriations.
motion to approve.
second,
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 6, to transfer appropriations.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Because this is missing any explanation, no.
So you're going to approve new money, new appropriations, but you're not going to approve
Decreasing.
transfers?
Grants, yeah. You don't even know what they're for.
No, but you're approving transfers, but you're not approving new appropriations. I
Item-
mean, you're approving appropriations and you're not approving
Do you know that they're
transfers.
different?
Did you know that that's new money and that isn't? That's not budgeted for? And the new appropriations? The transfers are money that's already been budgeted for.
Item number 7, to receive the
Right,
amended
have all the paperwork.
certificate of the County Budget Commission number 3-2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 8, to approve the agreement by and among the Trumbull County Commissioners, Trumbull County Sheriff Paul S. Monroe, and the Newton Falls Local School District Board of Education for police protection and services for the Newton Falls Local School District, its building and activities, personnel, students, and public on site. The Newton Falls Local District agrees to pay the Trumbull County Sheriff's Office the amount of $15,894.65 due and payable at the end of the term of the contract, which is to be effective throughout the balance of the academic fiscal year from March 27th, 2023 through May 25th, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr.
I just-
Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Only because the prosecutor's
Yes or
office,
no, Commissioner?
only
There's no discussion. here.
because the prosecutor's office hasn't sent an approval and the Board of Commissioners just did a unlawful agreement recently because they did it without the input from the
What?
prosecutor's office.
Madam
No.
Clerk, can you offer that explanation?
Yes,
from
I've
here?
sent these to the prosecutor's office, and they said if they've made corrections in the past, I believe they even helped draft this agreement some time ago. So they're comfortable as long as those changes are still within. So we do try to reach out to them for these.
I'm sitting here with a professional services agreement contract that was prepared, that had edits and changes that were recommended by our prosecutor's office before the Board of Commissioners entered the contract. And the Board of Commissioners still signed it anyway because either our staff or some staff somewhere forgot to make the changes and they entered an illegal contract. And this is all documented by our prosecutor's office. Therefore, unless the prosecutor's office shows it to us and sends it to us corrected, I think it's foolish for the board to just rely on staff that makes tremendous omissions that are contrary to the Attorney General's rulings.
You just said it's foolish for us to
Yeah.
rely on our staff.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't
when-
believe that was our
there's
staff for
been-
that Heritage Commissioner. I talked to Mr. Danzo yesterday. Believe the contract is legal. I believe it's the question if the board would like to
It's
have
the indemnity clause.
indemnification
That's not,
in there. And we
that's not
do need to
permissible.
talk about that in a public meeting because that would put another $100,000 on hold.
someone
but
made
I
a
don't believe
mistake.
It was our office that did so, ma'am.
Well, our office has, the point is, when it is our office's responsibility, it's the clerk's responsibility. When things come over for the commissioners to vote on, we have to see that we're voting on an approved version. So she should act as the gatekeeper to ensure that we're voting on something that's already been corrected, updated in the right way. We've had contracts that have been entered illegally,
All right, we're moving on. This is off topic.
purchases that were done
This isn't a
illegally,
chance for you to
change orders
grandstand.
that are.
I know you got catching up from missing last week. This isn't a chance to grandstand.
This is,
Madam Clerk,
this
Mr.
is
Cantala Mesa for item number 8.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
only
Yes or
because,
no?
again, I said only, you're allowed to state a reason and you don't need to be a bully.
The
So-
answer is yes or no.
so-
That's we're in discussion,
So because,
which is at the chair's prerogative.
because,
Yes or no?
stop interrupting.
All the rules. Continue on. We're waiting for your vote, Commissioner Gann.
So-
Commissioner Preston.
So because the prosecutor's office didn't approve this for us or show us that it was a
'Cause
corrected
you
version.
assume they
no-
didn't. State facts.
I went to I just want to say, I went to the Danzo's office this morning, to the prosecutor Watkins' office. I emailed them I called them numerous times and they did not respond. They said to just rely on on
Why?
staff. However, the staff is the cause of some of these contracts and purchases and things being done wrong.
Okay, moving on. Yes or no? Or abstain?
Can't abstain.
Again. Because the prosecutor's office never sent us approval that the version we're voting on is correct, no.
Item number 9, on or about May 1st, 2023, the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners intends to enter into a general liability insurance contract with Corsa, the County Risk Sharing Authority, thereby entering into a joint self-insurance pool to provide for the payment of judgment, settlement of claims, expense loss, and damage that arises or is claimed to have arisen from any act or omission of the political subdivision or any of its employees in connection with a government or propriety function, and to indemnify or hold harmless the subdivision's employees against such loss or damage. Important note, as of this date, April 5th, 2023, the Board of Commissioners hereby makes available to the public copies of said contract in the packages that are in front of me and in the clerk's office. Included in these packages are all representations made concerning potential liability to Trumbull County or its employees, as well as any possible savings or losses resulting from such contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 10, to concur with the Workforce Board of Trumbull County to release the RFP for the position of Ohio Means Jobs Center Operator as required by the state of Ohio. The proposal will be released April 6, 2023 and close on May 5th, 2023 with a funding period of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
I wanted to make a comment that, I like what he did. He actually updated it to make it, more open and allowed, bidders to submit online as opposed to just in person as it has been done in the past. So that was good that he saw that and changed it.
I heard your vote, Mr. Cantala Mesa, so I'll go to Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 11, to authorize the purchase of a Ford E450 DRW cutaway mounted mainline TV inspection truck from MTech for the use of the Trumbull County Sanitary Engineers Department in the total amount of $387,247.90. And this is through the Ohio State Purchasing Pricing Program.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 12, to authorize Denny Malloy, President of the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners, to execute an easement for pipeline right-of-way between Trumbull County and the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Pittsburgh District, for the purpose of approval to use certain property under the jurisdiction of the United States Army Corps of Engineers for the outfall discharge piping for the Sterling Sewage Treatment Plant and the Mecca Sewage Treatment Plant at Mosquito Creek Lake, Trumbull County, Ohio. Trumbull County shall pay in advance to the United States compensation in the amount of $17,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 13, to grant the special annual supplier fleet permit to the Arms Trucking Company.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 14, to grant the right-of-way permits, and that's with Village Energy Cooperative Association, Edwards Hay and Straw LLC, Dominion East Ohio, ASW Pipeline LLC.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 15, to concur with the Trumbull County Engineer to award the only bid submitted by Union Industrial Contractors. And this is for the Newton Falls Covered Bridge for the damage repairs, and that's at $762,340, located in the village of Newton Falls. And they will also enter into a contract. A note, this project is being entirely funded through Corsa, it's our insurance carrier.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 16, to concur with the Trumbull County Commissioners and authorize. I'm sorry, that should be to concur with the Trumbull County Planning Commission. So if I may change that and read it again. Vote on it as read, to concur with the Trumbull County Planning Commission and authorize Denny Malloy, President of the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners, to execute any and all required documents related to the forgivable loan application process, receipt and return of related documents, execution of forgivable loan documents, implementation of activities and expenditures of funds related to the administration of the following open forgivable loan for 2023.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 17, to concur with the Trumbull County Planning Commission requesting the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners to authorize various items related to the publication of a notice of intent to request the release of funds. And that's the NOI/RROF required for the environmental review record, Trumbull County PY 2022 CDBG Critical Infrastructure Grant, Townsend Avenue Storm Drainage Infrastructure Improvement Project in Liberty Township.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 18, to receive and place on file the 2022 annual report, Trumbull County Record Center and Archives, a division of the Trumbull County Recorder.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 19, to receive and place on file the 2022 annual report for the Newton Falls Municipal Court.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 20, to receive and place on file the February 2023 monthly financial report for the Trumbull County Tourism Bureau.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item 21, to adopt a resolution proclaiming the month of April 2023 as County Government Month in Trumbull County, Ohio, in conjunction with the celebration of National County Government Month. This year's theme for National Government Month is Stronger County, Stronger Ohio, Prepare, Respond, Thrive. And the Board of Commissioners encourages families within Trumbull County to be prepared with facts and information to be prepared to respond to natural disasters and emergencies and other significant challenges, including public health, public safety, and economic recovery.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion, I just want to point out to the board again, and actually the clerk and the office staff too. We're not supposed to be signing any resolutions, any journal actions, any letters of support, unless they've been ratified or journalized and voted on first. This one has already been signed by the other two commissioners. And I just want to point that out. Do not put those things out for the board to sign until after they've been voted on, because it constitutes a quorum and a decision and a pre-meeting vote. And there's another one back there, I guess it's going on next week, that you guys have signed as well, related to eviction prevention. So we need to make sure the board isn't signing and approving things prior to meetings publicly.
Well, if we're presenting resolutions publicly like we have to children's services in different groups, we already sign it before the meeting. You've signed it too. Remember when we present resolutions here before, as we vote on them?
Yeah, the day out here in public is whenever I signed it.
But you signed
Okay.
it before then, because it's under,
Before we voted on it.
before we vote on it, you already signed it.
We were here at the meeting, yeah.
But you
Okay,
signed it
all right,
prior
I'm not
to
gonna
that.
argue. No, okay.
You didn't sign it prior to that?
Go pull the video.
Vote
Jesus.
for number 21 is Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 22, to execute on behalf of Trumbull County, the natural gas purchase contract with Interstate Gas Supply Incorporated, commercial and industrial sales effective with the September 2023 billing cycle and ending with the August 2024 billing cycle at a fixed rate. When I talked to Mr. Bellish this morning, the rate was $3.65 per MCF to the burner tip for the purchase of natural gas for the county departments listed. However, our note does state the actual price will be set at the time of signing the contract, which I have the contract right here for the president to sign at the end of the meeting. So if that price change, we can let the public know next week if you want to know what it is. But right now it remains at $3.65.
Well, it continues to go down, so it behooves us to sign this immediately after the meeting. And I guess I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
On item number 23. This is to approve the personnel action for the employment of Mr. Anubov Viniak as a social service worker 2 with the Trumbull County Department of Job and Family Services effective Monday, May 1st, 2023. Mr. Viniak will be paid $19.29 per hour with full county benefits. He will be required to serve a 9-month probationary period. He has successfully completed a background check and drug and alcohol screening with favorable results.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 24, to receive and place on file for record purposes, the financial and compliance report, 2022 annual report for shelters for victims of domestic violence from Family and Community Services Incorporated and subsidiary Someplace Safe, filed in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, section 3113.39, and filed with the Ohio Attorney General's Office as submitted by Lauren Webb, Director of Someplace Safe, and on March 30th, 2023, and we received it in our office on March 30th, 23.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 25 is to adopt a resolution authorizing expenditure for responding to or mitigating the public health emergency from American Rescue Plan Act funds. This will be for the roof replacement project at the Planning Commission, whereas the county has received a distribution of monies, the ARPA funds from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, whereas Congress passed the act effective March 11th, 2021. And this is the amount not to exceed $27,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
And that resolution supports number 26, and that is to accept and award the professional design proposal submitted by Strollo Architects for architectural, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, structural design, bid documents, project specification, and a book format, shop drawings, and change orders as needed for the roof replacement project at the Trumbull County Planning Commission and Connector, and an amount not to exceed $27,000, and this will be paid through ARPA funds.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Item number 27 is to adopt the following resolution authorizing the Trumbull County Adult Probation Department to accept payments by a financial transaction device. Whereas the Trumbull County Adult Probation Department wishes to use a financial transaction device as defined in RC 301.28A1 for the purpose of accepting payments for county expenses as defined in RC 301.28A2 and 3. And our office will be working with the adult probation, working with the prosecutor's office and Mr. Lamakusa to walk us through the steps. There's probably 7 or 8 statutory steps to this. So we'll be working as a team on this project.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
We are at item 28, to adopt a resolution authorizing expenditure for revenue loss for the American Rescue Plan Act. And this is for the stair replacement at the law library, whereas the county has received a distribution of monies, the ARPA funds from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. And whereas Congress passed the act effective March 11th, 2021, and this will be in the amount of $23,850.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
No.
And that resolution supports item number 29, which is to accept and award the professional design proposal submitted by Strollo Architects for the architectural, mechanical, structural design, bid documents, project specifications in book format, shop drawings, and change orders as needed for the monumental stair replacement project at the Trumbull County Law Library. And this is an amount not to exceed $23,850 to be paid through ARPA funds.
Motion to approve?
Second.
A discussion. I want to point out that this was done and was prepared by Strollo Architects. That it appears that they prepared a lot of quotes for the county, but I was only given a couple pages of the letter. I have the front page. I've requested the entire letter. The clerk, and the department head has failed to provide that to me, but the part that I did see shows that it's $400,000 to replace the stairs. Included in that is $150,000 for an ice melt system. You could buy a lot of,
Excuse me, that was canceled yesterday. Yeah.
They had
It's not
that
true.
presentation.
There-
That was retracted.
I,
It's not in this agenda item.
there actually, alls I was provided by the staff, and Mr. Misaki was if that's the case, then we should have another proposal from Strollo that strikes that, because what's most critical, if you are going to replace the stairs, is making sure that the foundation stops sinking, because that's been the problem there. We don't have any other letter then, because it says that we're accepting a proposal in this, but the only proposal we have is from November 22nd, 2022, where it absolutely does say $400,000. So if there's a new proposal, you should see it and make sure that because you'll be audited on this.
It was discussed at yesterday's meeting.
It's not
and
about
there
it.
was a proposal.
Where, may I see the
Hart,
proposal?
Mr. Hart, can you speak to that, please?
It's not speaking. I want to see a proposal that
Can-
does
can we-
not
can we
include.
Let him speak to this. He's been along with this process from the beginning.
Want to blow closer, Bill?
Of the entire letter?
Let him continue.
No, I only have 3 pages. There's a,
Yesterday, we declined the alternate snow ice melt.
may I see the letter in its entirety like I've been requesting for quite some time? It's a letter dated November 22nd to proposal from Strollo, and I only have a couple pages of it.
It's the same one you have.
No, it says there's page 1 and it says project 1, and then it skips over to project 5. So I want to see this document in its entirety. And if something has been changed or altered, then we need to be where is that though? Because we're voting on a proposal that doesn't show that it's less. Is that the whole letter? That's not the whole letter.
That's his scope of work.
Can I see? Yours doesn't have everything. Yours is longer than mine.
Because mine is more than 1 page.
See, yours is different than what I'm looking at.
He sent them and I gave that to you.
I want to see the entire,
Since I gave you in November. And you chose to pick and choose what you wanted to fix, because that's what we did when we discussed. Then I went to you with your workshop, we sat right at that table.
the wa-
List. And there was others and you said you didn't. Turn it around. Oh, yeah, I
Wow.
think that test.
So now we're picking
no,
contractors.
I said that I wanted to get another quote from someone else because $400,000 was hot.
It's professional services.
Yeah, professional services, 400.
On the list.
The bigger question is, why are you urging a different contractor?
If someone's gonna give a quote of $400,000, I want them to give, to.
The bigger
shot to
question
try
is,
to ask some other
you
people.
mentioned a firm by name. So you're pushing a specific firm, not getting other quotes.
Yeah, I
That's
did
unethical.
say to get another one. And
You
you,
said a specific firm.
Just said it.
yeah, I wanted to get another quote because $400,000 as they were proposing seems.
Okay, we're saving the county money. I don't know what the problem is here.
It seems like we're saving the county money with a firm she doesn't like. That's why it's a problem.
All right.
Where's the
So
rest of,
first-
where's the rest of this? Because this is an excerpt from a letter that I only have bits and pieces of.
If you go back in November, you have everything.
No, I'm not
That's-
asking to go back in November. I don't have email.
And
Just
give
so
it-
that the
this is
public
what
knows,
I-
I don't have a computer and I haven't since February 2nd. I don't have email. My email doesn't work.
You have
you
a
tell me-
tablet, you have a phone.
I
and
don't
you
have a tablet.
You have access to 3 laptops with
No,
mice that you can use.
It's
Social media and doing emails on there.
No, I cannot do emails. My mailbox is routinely full. I don't have any staff that you're
Read
allowing.
some of your emails once in a while, then and then clear them out.
No, I think that what you're failing to understand is that we have a county records retention policy and we need to comply with it. We're also having pending litigation, which means that we're not permitted to spoliate anything and it's a discovery.
are you talking-
require-
I'm talking about your email that you received on this. You
I-
have it? Have you read it?
I can't, I don't have access to my emails. It's,
You could go to any county,
I've seen you email from your
go to
phone.
any laptop in the building and sign in.
says my email is
Go
full.
to IT and I'm sure they'll let you sign. in.
Everything is getting rejected and sent back to the original sender, or when I send something, it says mailbox is full, cannot send. This is what's been going on
Have you received
regularly.
any emails from
How
Progressive
am I
in the last
seeing
2 days?
emails and I'm CC'd
I
from you on it?
I sent it from my personal email this morning because my regular one for the county is not even working on my phone. So I don't have email.
That sounds like an IT problem then.
I would get that fixed as soon as possible.
I would like to I would like to have some staff to go through and file the emails because we are not permitted to delete them.
Staff cannot go through your emails.
You want them to go through your
Yes,
emails and. follow.
Yes. Yes, because
Take
we're not,
your
we're not,
email with
we're
your
not
password
permitted.
to go into your email
Yes.
system.
Yes, it's an open book. No, I would like the whole document, Bill, and I sent you an email yesterday morning and that one went through.
That one did go through.
Yeah, and then,
ironically.
yes, and then after that, I received messages that said that they were not.
You can bill up his paperback and make a copy for you if you'd like.
Can I see all of what you have? I'll take a picture of it or something. It's a different letter than what I,
Well, let me make a copy for all 3 commissioners.
well, that's what you should have done before the
I didn't
meeting
need to,
yesterday.
because that was the workshop.
So you just,
And he sent it to you in November, he said.
Remember, I already had the dates on it.
have this.
When it went to Tanya.
Move on. This is ridiculous. We're saving money. Let's move on.
So this is for, you've eliminated, is there a confirmation then with them? You told them that you're eliminating the snow melt
That's
system?
the work.
Can
And
you,
the Alternates are at feet. Finding.
so I'd like to amend the motion to say contingent upon elimination of the ice melt for the scope of work. Because there's been no prior,
It's the price
We're
already
already-
adjusted on there.
we're-
It's already been eliminated. from
We're
36
already
to
talking about it
20.
publicly. This is,
okay.
You really should attend the meeting.
You know, your meeting, I'm just going to say this again for the 12th time. The meeting that you have is illegal. It's improperly noticed. There's nothing
No, it
on
isn't.
there. I'm talking,
You
there's,
say it's illegal because we're on that half of the room and not this half. And that's gonna keep you from doing the work.
We have 30 or 40 people at our meetings and we're open to the public. We have the phone lines going. I don't know how much more transparent we can be. We talk about all this stuff.
Sunshine Law, Meetings Act requires that a meeting, if it's special, needs to be advertised. There's nothing on the
That's a
commissioner's
question for the
website.
attorneys, not for you.
There's-
I,
Let's
so-
move forward.
It's actually
Move forward
something
with
that
the
the clerk is supposed to, make sure that we're complying with the meeting laws, and they're not. So when you close the meeting on
vote.
the
Okay, let's
door
move
off.
forward. It's everyone else's fault. We get
No.
it. Move forward, Madam Clerk, with the vote. 29.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Because my documents say $400,000, and I haven't seen anything updated, no.
motion to approve.
Second.
Yes,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Authorize the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners to enter into an agreement between the State of Ohio, Department of Administrative Services, and the Trumbull County Board of Commissioners. This agreement will be made today, April 5th, 2023, the effective date, by and between the State of Ohio Office of Information Technology, Multi-Agency Radio Communication System. And then I did list.
What is this? This is another number?
Morris Tower, they've been talking about for
the
a year.
same thing. This is the agreement actually that you voted on in 30.
Yeah, so
So you're I don't have that. Let me see. I'm sorry.
31.
the one that says new.
Oh, I'm
It
not
goes
looking.
into here.
Okay, I don't have that one. Okay.
It's right there,
Oh, this one,
number 31. So it's just the agreement and I
the
just.
agenda change.
I
Okay.
put the agreement on so the public or yourselves could read the terms within.
Critically important as Mr. Johnson is here from Fowler. We know how important it is. I'll make a
Motion
motion
to-
to approve. I'm sorry.
Second,
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes,
Ms. Frenchco.
yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G3 for a conference with an attorney for the Board of Commissioners concerning a dispute involving the board that is subject of pending court action.
Second,
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes,
Ms. Frenchco.
yes.
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
back everyone.
Evidently, the executive session relates to pending litigation, not against the county, but for me, against the other commissioners for violating sunshine and open meetings. So I wasn't sure which matter it was involving. But it's odd because they wanted to, I saw last week's agenda where they wanted advice on how to do things properly, but it was only for the majority of the board, and I should be privy to that because that's something that I've been trying to get done the right way since I started. I'm gonna sign the resolutions after we voted on it. And, no one has said anything or done anything or written anything about the fact that the budget is done by the auditor. Yeah, I thought Emily was going to, because I made the comment with her. She took my comments before. I don't understand if the paper just doesn't want to make the county look that bad publicly, but the fact that the budget is done by by the auditor, and I gave you before those meetings and the minutes where they said that they just fix all the red lines. And I don't understand why that has never been covered, because I might have even forwarded you an email from John Lights from CCAO that says no other county has the auditor do that. And all 88 counties were. Yes, I did give it to you. Well, the problem is my email, so I no longer, I don't have a computer.
Right.
And like I went 4 days without emails because from a Friday to a Monday, things were going back because it's full. Yes, and then the other problem is our county auditor is in charge of IT. But the way it is right now with records retention, we have a schedule for everything that we have to retain for a records retention schedule to comply with sunshine open records. And as it stands right now, if you delete a sent email, it's gone permanently.
Okay.
Isn't that terrible for a county to have an email system like that when we have to comply with? Yeah.
Right.
So I don't want to delete anything, obviously, because we also have an order due to pending litigation that we're not allowed to eliminate anything. So I don't have staff to help organize. I can't get them to make that Excel spreadsheet that I needed. Don't have a computer. My hands are ice cold. So by the way, I keep a heater to try to warm my hands because sometimes they won't even work to pick up a pen. But
Okay, we're not gonna take any action, clearly, you're not gonna take any action.
I don't think so. They're in trouble. And they keep on saying that because this is the same room. If you look out in the door, you'll see there's a sign that says Commissioner's Hearing Room. And then there's a sign over there that says Conference Room, and that's around the corner. So anyone who comes in, if they walk into the room, you'll see, and I took a picture of it because I'm adding it to my, you can see that
this room is divided off and it looks like the hearing room is empty. So anyone from the public who comes into the hearing room, which is not properly noticed anyway, you guys did a workshop. Yeah, but there's no notice on the website or something.
I'm just asking, because I attend the meeting, I hear every meeting.
Exactly.
Right, I attend this meeting and that. Movies I cover. Right. Okay, I would ask them to do that.
And there's something up with, I don't know, Bill Hart won't communicate. There is an actual, I don't know. Oh, by the way, I think it's really important that the public know. Here's an example of all the mistakes that were made. No, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, this is different.
Yeah. So it's illegal because the indemnity was, we're not allowed to do that as a county. And there's a attorney general opinion that's linked that the prosecutor's office said, you know, you guys can't do this, but you signed it without my corrections. So there's a flaw in our system that I've been saying, like, I'm not going to trust this woman who's always, you know, like if we get on our agenda and I can't, it's incorrect. I'm not voting on something. Yeah. Unless I see from our prosecutor's office that the corrections have been made, they've seen them. So none of his corrections made it to the actual contract and they signed it anyway. That's,
So you're saying this country is
well, no, it's invalid. It's incorrect.
I mean,
You can keep
it's
reading.
incorrect.
It didn't include the prosecutor's note recommendations. Correct. Because the clerk is supposed to look at them when they come over and make sure that it's approved and none of this happened. That's why I feel so nervous voting on things because I don't want to be the one that voted yes on something that.
Okay.
That was with the sheriff and the, health. Top,
Yeah,
but we're the contracting authority and we're the budgeting authority, and we need to make sure that we're doing what our statutory duty is, budgeting, contracting, you know, these are just the things that the major goal of the commissioner's statutory is to make sure that we're. Yeah, so I have to like go and look.
Do you have it in your personal computer?
I can go back and look at my old ones, but if I send, like what's been happening, it might send and then like 2 emails later, or the next email will say cannot send, mailbox is full. And so when I went over.
How large is the document?
Which document?
The document that you're trying to send. That, for example, a document that you want to send to me.
Yeah.
Printed,
I actually sent an email yesterday that was just a response saying, hey, I want the whole paperwork because the Strollo thing. This is what they gave me. It's not a complete. That's not a complete. And then this is kind of messed up, but I have it. It shows that the Attorney General says that we're not allowed to do that. In accordance with, but it's. But they didn't make the changes. Yeah, that's what we did.
That's what they did last week?
It was a couple months ago, but it's just kind of par for the. I don't know why, what is someone? Not to exceed 37, okay. So I thought it looked funny that they put $400,000 for steps, and I told them to go and I said, why don't you use another engineering firm? You got the same, or design firm giving you all of these. He gave like, he had a list, but I didn't have the whole everything. So evidently there was communication that I didn't. That's what I'm looking for. And I said, why did you just go to them? Why didn't you go to someone else off the list? And I gave, for example, that the Kinnick, got done doing the Board of Elections. That's all. I mean, I don't have any connect. No, I don't know these people. I just know that the other one, you know, if they're gonna say 400,000 and you got how many?
They're saying $400,000 deficit first.
Yeah.
And
See, there's 8 of, wait, there's 4 of them here, but that one has more, like. Yeah, so you get like 6 of them. It looks funny to me. That's the kind of stuff that people in Trumbull County think is going on, like, why? And I'm looking at it from over here thinking the same thing that most people in Trumbull County think.
so they're saying they took the alternate, no.
Yeah, I don't have any communication that they told them that. That's all. I mean. And it's based on the way they made the proposal, and that's the only proposal I have from them. I get eliminating the alternate bid, but I'm more interested in making sure that you're not gonna, if you're gonna fix it, you fix it the right way, because it's the wing walls and the foundation that are causing the cracking. And so you want to make sure that they're, like, they were just already repaired, I guess, recently, but they won't put together what I asked for, which was a grading of the buildings to show everything when it was last improved.
Okay.
You know, we don't want to just spend the money just to spend, yeah,
You don't want to cover up. So,
correct. You want to solve it.
Mhm.
And if they're going to do it the same way that they did it last time,
mhm.
then we know we don't want to do that, because it's still, it's kind of like, you know, the Western Reserve building, how it sunk, the Warren Western Reserve. It was on
Yeah,
like a,
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like what we got over there. Why keep on spending money to, you got to do something to treat the foundation or the, so that you're doing it differently. I'd rather have that written in there instead of, and I don't have anything that shows that they're addressing the foundation. That's all they gave me. And evidently, you can see that. Are you able to request a full copy of stuff? Because they sure didn't give it to me. Can you give it to me? Like, are you,
I can request it.
like, all communication with Strollo maybe and architects related to like this letter? I actually had to call them.
That's the original letter.
Yeah, so, well, no, it's not all of it. See what I'm saying?
The original letter that you received.
That's what I,
Right.
back in November, he gave me a list of debts, but it didn't have the front letter.
But you would gave you in November.
Was not this.
Was not that.
It was a list of things that he wanted to do. And one of the things on the list was a wall. And I was like, we're here. Better system, and you might not have to replace it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but I never got anything from this architect in its entirety. I've never received anything yet. I asked 3 times from the clerk yesterday, and I asked Art in an email, and I even called this company, asked for a copy of their correspondence to the county,
Mhm.
and I think they sent it. I didn't know my email was not working, and they probably sent it and it never went through unless they they didn't. I mean, this is a mess.
It is.
Then I go back and I talk to, and they saying that they gave me a tablet. Let me show you this. They gave me iPad, and the iPad is connected. So
Yeah, so they gave
so
her
IT couldn't even get my email connected to it. Yes.
Okay.
It's connected, the Apple ID says an employee's name on it.
Okay. So you can get your email.
Oh, like, it's just been sitting because I haven't used it. I mean, I use the charging cord from the phone sometimes, but
So
so that's my cat.
Huh?
That's my cat's name.
Oh, that's your, oh, okay. Can that
The password.
remove that person?
They couldn't at the time when yeah, it was while I was waiting for my laptop when I first started. They gave me that and it doesn't connected to an employee. So Apple ID is that, and I 21 in order for me to be able to use it, and they won't do it for me. Like this is the same lady that wouldn't even give me my travel reimbursement. And she called her went back. I mean, I'm done. Other thing is I communicate with my staff via text message.
Okay.
And they,
Person?
well, it's better because certain issues, council, you put things in writing.
Yeah.
And look what they did. Violated sunshine to write this thing, to take away. I can't even text her or get my messages from each constituent. I requested, because I was asking, text me my messages, they give me a little piece of paper like Frank used to get. And I said, I don't want paper. I said, text it to me so I can save, and then I'll have the numbers if I need to go back and call the people. Now they took it without even, no, they don't,
Because you. Yeah.
So
you
I'm
have
not,
that- you have that-
exactly, I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm been through enough of that.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
It keeps on getting full, and then I don't have any staff to help. Meaning, like, if I said, here, please, my invites for events, and just put those in a separate file or something. I mean, I don't care. It's everything I write is a public record. I don't care if anyone has, but the problem is that there's like a conflict because of litigation.
At this point.
Yeah.
I'm prior to this.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, if there was a new employee or someone, I'd be like, here, have fun. There's nothing that's. Because attorney-client communication is. My friend, I started listening to WCRF.
Oh, I'm.
Radio.
I'm a fellow. I'm knowledgeable.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it, and someone brought it up to me yesterday, and I was like, that is, I used to not listen when I was a little kid. My grandma used to always play it nonstop, and I was like, oh, this is good. I forgot that it was out there, Even as WCRF. Ones don't need, I mean, according to our prosecutor's office, these like little resolutions for communities, I was told, but I don't know. I don't even know if I trust our prosecutor's office. I went up there this morning. I sent emails
I sent, like, they said, go and talk to your staff. And I'm like, the same, that's the same ones that make, that got, I was like, I need to know that what my staff is putting out there is correct. I said, you're my legal counsel.
Right.
I'm not going through my clerk to get, it was terrible. I don't know what's wrong with Dennis Watkins and company, but that's no good. Well, they made a lot of mistakes. They've been back there in executive session and they should be back again soon because I will amend my complaint to include workshop, their workshop, our public workshop. Oh yeah, she printed it so you can read. Did you see?
This is me. Oh.
No, it's because I didn't have it myself. You can look at it if you just sitting there, you know? Yeah, isn't it wild that that goes in conjunction with that contract that was marked up? Watching. Yeah, if you're watching, there's an executive session. There's an executive session right now for the professional service agreement. Prosecutor's office. The office of the other commissioners still signed them the wrong way because no one updated them. That's the problem. Our office needs to be the gatekeeper to make sure that they're allowed to talk about the pending litigation, but they're not allowed to talk about the advice of that counsel to the commissioners and to the staff to make sure that they're doing things the right way. That's something that needs to be all of the commissioners, but they passed a resolution last week saying to get advice on communication. And our journal action to go into executive session today was to discuss pending litigation, pending court actions. It's not to discuss advice on how to do things, which is what I've been trying to tell them since I started to do things the right way. But question. So far, there's been this illegal professional services agreement. There's been pre-award contracts, it's kind of like it's bidding irregularities. I've caught those, you know. Need any kind of. You know? Dog to, or the tail to wag the dog, and it wasn't the staff do everything. Question. Yeah, there is an awfully lot. I cannot, Tony, I cannot set that iPad. That's done under the. That person, but. Even to Dan Pliska. Apple ID is on there associated. Unfortunately, I won't have it till summer, so you're commissioner. Ever get a chance to It's okay though, honestly, the way. Everything. And the state of Ohio. And the auditor is everything preparing. Or with stamp, I voted no on it. And when you don't have budget oversight and budget management. that's what you have in Trumbull County. And they are saying, no. Out of it. And it's how it's been done for decades. Forever. Find that they think that this is transparent. So they tell me that we can look it up. So you're a private citizen and you get to look at our agenda and all you see is fund numbers and dollar amounts. Fund numbers and dollar amounts, no explanation. Other communities actually put an explanation in other agendas. It's, everything that I'm trying to. So because they're at this point, the staff doesn't have any management. I mean, Sometimes I can't even write. It's like if you had like with my hands. Well, hey, I see you said. That's the problem here. We rudderless. Put it on today and I was not even made it to an agenda. That's why I mean, hopefully they'll learn their lessons with the most recent lawsuit. They've been saying these me. So I was in here. I was three committees. If I put a line through it and say put a line. There, but that's what they do. This is an example of what they're doing. Not even a line through it. Line for all commissioners. Please and thanks. I just wanted to, you don't have to get up.
I make a motion, we reconvene from executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G3.
Second.
Boy,
Yes.
Mr. Cantala Mesa,
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes the general business from our agenda. I have a letter here, an official letter from the city of Girard that I'd like to present to the board. Officially requesting a switch for Girard Fire Department to join our 911 system. This is signed by the chief, Petruzzi, and Jerry Lambert, the safety director. So I'd like to pass this on, give it to the clerk to make copies for all the commissioners. And we can start the proceedings to see with the prosecutor's office about allowing Girard Fire Department to join our 911 system and leave their own system. This is just for the fire, not for the police department.
The biggest issue we have though right now is making sure that the plan is done. So that's what dictates the prices and the fees, and we haven't been compensated like we should have been because the agreements just keep on continuing without a new updated plan. So I hope that that's being worked on. I know that was a concern for a lot of the, it's a concern for a lot of the townships, and we need to make sure that that plan, is the board giving directive to proceed with the plan?
Sorry. Is the board giving a directive?
Directive
proceed with-
to work on the plan.
She's been here multiple times and she said she's working on the plan.
I think she said that she was waiting for the next 911 director to do that.
Yeah, I'd like to advise for the next 911 director also to be a part of the future
But
plan.
it needs to get started.
Right, we need to hire a 911 director.
This is supposed to be done.
3 years ago, 2.5
Yeah.
years ago. What I understand. Okay, anybody from the public have anything for the good of Trumbull County? Yes, sir. Come on up here so they can hear you on the airwaves. Yeah, there you go.
Vernon Township, I'd just like to restate the need.
What your name too, please?
Walter Herdesky, trustee, Vernon Township. Acts our safety force.
I'd like to make a motion to request that our prosecutor, or I'm sorry, that our legal counsel look at your project so that it could be the next one to do.
I think we did. I think we already did submit this one to legal, but if we didn't, I'll second it, but I think we already did do that. Yes.
Yes.
And I, again, I,
Speaking of which, Commissioner Frenchco, 3 weeks ago, you said you would have a meeting, we tasked you with being in charge of putting an Arpa meeting together with the townships to go over funding. And then 2 weeks ago, you said you'd like to see 7 million. I said 7.5 or half of whatever we have left. There's been a couple more Arpa grants have gone forward. And do you have a date for the meeting yet for
If you-
the trustees
if-
of the townships?
if I expressed this months ago now, at this point, I'm waiting on our staff to perform a task, which is putting together a spreadsheet so that we make those final decisions without flying blind. The Board of Commissioners that I work with has instructed staff not to do things to help me. They eliminated the cell phone for me to be able to communicate via text without having email. And regularly, they do things to kind of hamstring me. So I would love to have a meeting.
Eliminating whose phone, whose cell phone? What are you talking about?
So I would love to be able to put that meeting together, but I don't fly blind. I like to do things the right way. And I would love to meet with the trustees, but it will require our office staff to actually do something that I asked them to do for once. And it's a spreadsheet for in Excel, and I've asked our clerk to have someone do it. They've refused. So will the Board of Commissioners, please, I'm asking that the Board of Commissioners instruct someone in the office staff to do the task that I've asked them to do.
I can do the task myself, and I'd like consensus of the board for
Okay.
me to plan a meeting.
I
I think
would like to see
that's
that.
wise. Yeah, we need to get moving on that. And
The-
we have all the information.
Excel-
We have all the applications from every single ask of ARPA money. We have we have all that information to put into whatever documents you want. I think Mr.
I've
Masaki,
asked you to
again,
do
you're
that.
interrupting, but Mr. Masaki put together a spreadsheet that we can use and utilize. Some of the things you're asking for as far as what, if it's coming out of a different pocket of that ARPA money isn't practical right
I would
now.
like
We'd
to
have
have
to
a
have that
cop-
discussion
a
first.
copy
Again,
of
you're
that.
interrupting, but that's fine. Thank you.
So if there's something that has been prepared, my emails have.
You
the
were
time
handed it. You were handed it. The clerk
Okay.
gave it to you.
So you're talking about that, that was not what I requested.
I have copies of all the ARPA applications myself, which I believe all the commissioners do. I think we're all given the copies ourselves, as
Everything.
well as the applications that go to Mr. Masaki. All the information is there. I have the knowledge and the know-how to be able to figure out reading it myself without having someone putting in an Excel spreadsheet for me. And I can do that myself. And again, I ask consensus of the board
There-
to allow me to plan the meeting so we can move forward and not keep these townships waiting any longer.
I would
I
like,
concur.
I'd like to do that contingent upon having a spreadsheet like I requested a few months ago, because we have this, a file, I have a file this thick of applicants. Some of them have not filled out their forms the right way. Unfortunately, a lot of really good projects have come through, but they haven't come through in the proper form, and there's no one in our office that was reaching back out to them to ask them to send them in, resubmit them the right way. And then other projects are getting leapfrogged. And so I'd like to look at this final money and look at all of the applications that are still outstanding at the same time in a spreadsheet so we can see categorically. I mean, need to be able to see it.
You can't see categorically just yet. We need to, some of those things have to be asked of the attorney before they go into a certain category. So we don't know the category it's coming out of. I
Ye-
don't know if you get that.
You
I
can,
agree.
you can see if they're infrastructure related, if they're.
You can see that
historic.
without
Yeah.
a spreadsheet. You
Yes,
can
and
see
that's what
that
I'm
without a
at-
spreadsheet.
That's what I'm
Or you can
asking
construct your spreadsheet.
with this, that's what we have staff for. And I'd like to ask again that the Board of
That's your
Commissioners.
opinion, but the majority of the board would like to move forward and get some of these projects
the
moving.
board- Can,
It's not going to be contingent on you having a spreadsheet.
I-
I'm sorry.
I can't get,
I'd like to make a motion from
The
the
staff
floor
will
that
do-
I go ahead and schedule a meeting sometime in the next week to address it at next week's workshop with the date and time that we can move forward with ARPA funding, where anybody has a pending application will be welcome to come and discuss it with the Board of Commissioners, the three of us, and Mr. Masaki. And if we need to have the attorney
then we need,
available,
we
can I
need
get
to-
a second on that?
no, we.
Second.
No, we have to pick the date.
Can I get a vote on that?
Wait. Motion to modify, to select the date now and to ensure that it's noticed properly. So it would have to be labeled a special meeting for the purpose of reviewing and making decisions.
I'll do
Of
that
the
next
fin-
week at the workshop after I look at.
I think we all need to look at our
locations.
calendars to make sure it works for all of us.
I will propose that at the meeting next week officially for when that date is. And I'll have all that stuff perfectly, exactly legal for you at that time. So roll call on the
Perfectly
vote.
exactly legal.
I seconded it. Yes,
Did you hear, I made a motion to modify? Did you?
That
that died for lack of a second.
Okay, so then you just. can you Repeat that.
The motion is for Denny Malloy, President of the Board of Commissioners, to find a meeting date, time, and location for ARPA funding special meeting to discuss ARPA funding with people that have pending applications or that want to submit applications. At that meeting, we'll request that Mr. Masaki be in attendance, as well as all three commissioners, and the public can come to get their ARPA questions answered, and then we can decide on a funding structure and moving forward with the remainder of the ARPA funds.
Okay, that's a different motion that was on the floor. Are you amending it to that?
I'm amending it to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second that. Let's take the roll call, please.
Yes.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes.
Ms. Frenchco.
Yes.
Anything else from the floor?
I'd like to still make a motion, because I know there's a lot of projects being pushed through, and if people show up at their meeting, then they get, the squeaky wheel gets oil. I'd like to make a motion to earmark, again, $7 million for townships and in the small villages. So I'm just nervous that we're not gonna get that done.
I think that would be best if we go over that publicly in that meeting without any of the information in front of us.
Right.
Without the numbers to go by. I mean, arbitrarily just picking that number. I don't know what evidence you have of that or how many projects you want to fund with that.
I'm just
I mean,
agreeing.
that's,
That-
I think we'll have a
Is that a
better.
discussion? Is that
Hey, Mara, we gotta
I'm
take
sec-
that,
I'm
we have to take
seconding
that as a
I'm
second.
seconding it, and I'm just saying that I think at that meeting, we'll have a clearer picture as to what projects will get funded or not. I'm not saying yes or no to it. What I'm saying is we need more information in those meetings to arbitrarily just pull a number out of your head and say $7 million needs to go to townships. We don't even know if there's $7 million worth of projects in the township.
And I agree. I think I'd like more than the $7 million to go to the township, small villages. So I'd like to see the data in front of us. And I made the comment before publicly at many meetings, I'm going to dig my heels in at 7.5 million. That's when I thought there was 15 million left. And as we go through the pending projects we have now, we're only at about 300,000. So I would like to see, each township, and I brought this up last at the public meeting also, be entitled to up to $300,000 would equal that 7.5 million of what I'm looking to get. But we need to discuss that at the meeting, and we need to reach out to the townships that have not submitted yet to make sure they give us their best project proposal so that we can take care of every township in the county and not just the first ones to the table or the
Like you
squeaky
guys have been
wheels.
doing, yeah.
Well, actually, you were the one who forwarded that project onto the attorney just now.
Yes.
So squeaky wheel gets the grease and they come to your meeting and you send it off to the attorney. It's what you're doing, what you just did right now is what we do at the other meeting. So it's no different. I'm kind of not understanding.
Can help you understand. Yes.
What was the motion?
7 million.
For township.
No, not until we have the meeting.
No. Okay, anything else from the floor?
I'd like to make a motion to stop spending any more ARPA money until this meeting occurs.
You just made a motion to send more to
Yeah.
send another project down to the
Was that-
attorney.
Okay, that's your second. So then for discussion, I'm concerned that the townships aren't going to get what they need because other ones are on the pipelines. So,
The only way that money gets spent is if we vote on it. So you have
Okay.
all the ability in the world if something comes on the agenda, because every one commissioner can put something on the agenda, as you mentioned before. So if something comes on the agenda and you don't agree with it, you can vote no on it.
Right, and I agree the same thing, that if I see that we were getting anywhere near that less than $7.5 million mark, I will vote no until that meeting occurs, until we delineate that money. So that's not an issue.
yes.
No.
No. I think we can do better than that. Any other things from the floor? Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Callers, *6 to unmute yourselves, please. Caller *6 and go ahead and announce yourself.
We've had some issues with that. I think. Yeah, if you don't speak directly into these mics, it's very difficult, I hear.
Commissioner Malloy.
Yes, we can hear you.
This is Sharon March, and I would like to ask Nikki.
Turn your radio down, ma'am, please. If
I
you're
don't have
listening.
radio.
Okay.
I'd like to ask Nikki, has there ever been an state auditor's finding against the commissioners for not running the meetings right in the past or with the budgets? Because she's complaining how much is being misspent and everything. I don't understand it because I always thought you guys had good auditor reports for the state.
Commissioner?
I mean, there have been audit findings, just as there have been with other counties. Those are recommendations to do better. I don't think we're
Right.
any less or any more than other counties. As a matter of fact, we have an auditor here, or we did have an auditor that was award winning throughout the state. that you walked into his office and you saw the recognition he had. He was a CPA. He was a master in business administration. He was very highly qualified. You know, I will stay with my notion that the auditor prepares the budget. The auditor prepares the budget and we, with input from the board, and we certify the budget. That's how it works. We're the legislative administrative service. He's the CFO. He or she is the CFO of the county. So
When did the board make the input?
when did the board make the input?
Did you
Yeah.
have budget hearings?
We had budget hearings.
There isn't. When did the board make the input? That's where the budget hearings is where the department heads presented. When did the Board of Commissioners give input on what was prepared?
At the budget hearings.
No, they didn't.
You had a chance to
Yep.
give as much input as you wanted at the budget hearings. I can't help that you won't speak to the auditor. And you want to talk about after the fact that this was spent incorrectly, this was spent incorrectly, but I didn't hear boo out of you during the budget hearings. Not one.
Exactly.
So if you need to look at somebody, you need to look at yourself.
After
Thank
the,
you.
okay, the budget hearing traditionally in Trumbull County is where the department heads and those requesting money will come and present what they want. And we, as the commissioners, receive those things on that very same day. So what I
So the
request,
auditors-
so you be quiet while I'm talking, ma'am.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry, Nikki.
turn it off. Can you mute that, please?
We can't mute it.
So after the hearing, I requested further hearings for then the commissioners to have public discussion and create and develop the budget. But the auditor's staff refused to have a public meeting on that.
We did have a public meeting on that.
No,
Yes, we did.
it
And
was,
you
it
attended
was,
it.
it was in December that it was requested. I have
It
five.
was prior to
I have-
finalizing the
I'm
budget after
talking-
the temporary
I had,
budget was
I had
approved.
5 emails of them refusing the dates that I suggested. I said any day, and they wouldn't agree on any of them. So finally, Commissioner Malloy had a meeting, and at that meeting, it was more of an informational gathering to try to understand how the county's been doing it. And in essence, the Board of Commissioners was just told this is what it is. So there was no actual input as it relates to dollar amounts.
Out
from
of
the Board
90 minutes of
Commissioners.
that meeting, you took over 80 minutes speaking yourself, so I didn't get a chance to hear from the
There
auditor.
was,
There's
so
that.
there was no input, and the Board of Commissioners, again, this year, rubber stamped and
You
voted.
you
voted-
had
rub-
two
rubbers-
opportunities
The Board
to
of,
give input and you gave
the
none.
Board of Commissioners, again, rubber stamped a budget that they didn't prepare or
Point of
have any
order,
input.
point of
in.
order. It's ridiculous.
That's
It's a false narrative
it's-
that you want people to buy into and it's just not true.
Out of
There were
80
two public meetings, the budget hearings and the other meeting after the temporary budget was approved.
and I had my own meetings after that too, to understand the budget, that I met with people from the
And-
auditor's office and with the.
And I heard
department heads.
nothing about solutions from you, Commissioner, not one thing.
Ah.
About how, what you wanted changed in the budget. You
Uh,
talked about the trash pickup and you talked about refreshments. That's what you talked about in the budget.
Okay, next
Hit it,
caller.
Which is.
No,
hit
Is
it,
there another
which is a
caller?
hit it.
I'm
Move
going-
forward, next
I'm
caller.
going to,
please.
I want to continue to respond to that as far as it relates to the audit situation. So we had a temporary finding. I don't know, I haven't seen the final audit, but there was one where another elected official was performing a duty that was outside of the scope of their statutory
elected official?
role. And because of
Which
that,
elected official?
that could result in a finding if it's found to be correct.
Which elected
Um,
official?
So
And on
that is
finding
that
an
is
elected official. to deal with
abs- that is, and that's absolutely what we're doing now, because if you look at the duties in the revised code, it shows which elected officials and bodies are responsible for which duties.
What
and
duties
appro-
and
ap-
which elected official are you speaking about?
Appropriations relate to the commissioners.
Yes,
and-
they do. We approved the budget. We developed the budget along.
We
with
don't,
the-
deve-
with the
no one
auditor.
developed it.
That's you that doesn't develop it. I have input with the auditor all the time, one-on-one,
So you developed the budget.
with input from the auditor, correct?
You didn't. There's been no public
I
meeting
guess,
that.
I guess you
there's
know
been no
what I do in the auditor's office. That's
so-
interesting.
So
There's been
unilaterally,
no public meetings with him regarding, is that what you just said?
yeah, there's been no.
All your
public
meetings have
meeting
been
with-
private,
with
every
in-
one of them. So there's
with
been no
input.
public meetings with you and anyone from the auditor's office either.
You have private workshops. You're the only one that has private workshops. Laughable.
Mine are compliant with sunshine.
Okay, we're gonna move forward. Next
Okay.
caller, please.
Hello?
Yes. Name and where you're
John
from, please.
Metzinger, McDonald.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, Commissioners and Clerk. I just wanted to publicly commend the job Director Hickey's done in the Trumbull County EMA with the alerts that have gone out recently as far as all the severe weather we've had. And on top of that, the training that some of our local departments have, been able to get done because of Director Hickey and the EMA. And I just recognize the job that he's been doing there. And that's all I got.
Well, I would
Thank
concur.
you.
Director Hickey is an outstanding asset to Trumbull County. He's been flawless through two massive emergencies the last 2 weekends. He's communicative with the board, and I wouldn't want to lose him for anything. I wouldn't trade him for any other EMA director in the world. So I concur with you, sir. Next
Thank you.
caller.
Guys, have a good day.
Thank you. Any other calls on the phone line? Star 6 to unmute. Okay, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming today. As you can see, we are going to move forward in spite of any difficulties. We're moving forward in the county. We're making progress, and I hope everybody leaves here today understanding that they are in good hands in Trumbull County. We are going to get things done. There are some bumps in the road, but for the good and welfare of the people of Trumbull County, we are moving forward in spite of any difficulties.
I wanted to bring this up. This was something that the Board of Commissioners signed, a policy. We have a receptionist. A receptionist is supposed to, as everyone would know, give messages to the Board of Commissioners. The receptionist, when I started, was giving little pieces of paper and handing them to us. And I said, well, I'd like to have everything texted to me so that I can have it on my phone and just send it. So they got her a cell phone after, because I was using her personal phone, and she said, I'd prefer to have a county phone. So that happened about a month or so into me taking office. And without having email that's reliable, without having a computer, that's kind of the only means of communication I have sometimes with the office. And it also preserves that it was a record, it preserves the communication, that it's accurate, that it's authentic. And the majority of the Board of Commissioners signed something outside of open meeting saying that they were going to take away her cell phone. So now I don't get messages or anything like that.
That was at the request of her union steward, who said that she was being contacted off hours. She's not paid to be on call.
No.
She was getting texted on weekends with orders from you and demands
No,
from you and
that's
after
not
hours in the
correct.
evening. And he said he is taking the phone away.
No,
And
Denny,
I
you don't get
concur.
to lie. Okay, so
Let's bring the union.
so-
We can
so-
have
Let's bring the union steward in.
up
so
here
we
if you'd
have,
like.
we have a lot.
If you're in
of-
the building,
yeah.
if you're here,
Okay.
Mr.
So
Flanagan, please
we
come
have
on up to the boardroom.
we have what I've argued since this phone came into use in our office is that we leave it in the office so that whoever is filling in for her can use it for office business. And what she was doing was refusing to leave it at the office and taking it home with her. It should be situated in a desk in the reception area so that anyone else is able to use it. That is not an accurate or valid reason to eliminate my communication with office staff. That should be left in the office.
She
That's
said
what-
she can send you an email just as easily as she
We
can
have-
send you a
I don't
text.
We have phones here. We
I
have
don't.
phones. We have email. We have
and
all
we-
kinds of
and we
communication.
also have counsel who believes that it's most appropriate during certain circumstances to communicate with record. And
Come to work.
my phone's not not acceptable. I
No,
mean,
the union came to me and said they want to take her phone away from her. They want her to stop that. It's not in her job
did you-
duties.
the job duties don't detail the method of taking messages. Did you send that to your HR director to
We
get
are
their input?
arguing over a phone. Do you realize the problems that Trumbull County has ahead of it, and we are arguing over a cell phone?
Because you can't order demands on another employee. You can't get a hold of her when you want her at your beck
I
and
have
call.
all of the contact, all of the communication. It's public record. All it is messaging to communicate with the office or get messages, or if I'm having a hard time with my email, which I consistently do.
Call into the office and ask for your messages. That's all.
No.
No. Too easy.
And I think you're trying to retaliate against an employee with, there's legal things pending that we can't talk about. And I think you are way out of line with this.
What did you say?
That I think you're way out of line with this.
Bingo.
You're violating conversation that you're not supposed to.
Let's just end it.
We're not allowed to talk about certain things publicly and it's contrary to our advice of counsel. Denny, please do what's right.
Shut her up.
Okay. Anybody else on? President, can we move on, please? Can we move on, please, Mr. President?
Yes. Okay. I
Motion
think
to
we were-
adjourn.
Checking to see if anybody
Oh,
else.
there's no one else.
Is there anyone else on the line? *6.
Hearing none, I will second Commissioner Frenchco's motion.
So,
Yes.
Mr. Cantala Mesa.
Yes,
Mr. Malloy.
Yes.
thank you all.
Turner is